Good morning, our beautiful PIA family. My name is Ariel Rivera, and I am the PIA National President. Today, in honor of Veterans Day, I have the privilege and the honor of interviewing an insurance professional who not only is a leader in our industry, but who also served for our country. So, on behalf of every member and affiliate of the National Association of Professional Insurance Agents, we want to say thank you, veterans. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you, and I hope you enjoyed this interview. I have with me, and it's just a great honor to have with me a good friend, a colleague from Liberty Mutual, who's also part of the PIA partnership. So thank you for your support. More importantly, thank you for your service. Please meet the great Ben Lin from Liberty Mutual. How you doing, Ben?
Right. Good morning or good afternoon, I guess, somewhere in the world.
Somewhere in the
It's a
world.
pleasure to be here and happy to talk about, I guess, my military experience as well as how it has intersected with my insurance career, which has now gone on almost 8 years.
Nice, good for you. So first off, thank you for your service. Coming from a family and my wife's family as well, that we had a lot of family members that have served in the military. We understand the honors for that. I'm blessed because I live around, especially a lot of Navy, from military personnel from the Navy. So I get to experience a little bit of the culture. But would you mind sharing with us a little bit about your military background?
Yeah, sure, I'm happy to. I guess very much like you, Ariel, my parents, they grew up in Taiwan and they were subject to military requirements at an early age, but beyond that, no one else in our family has joined the military in one way or another. Me personally, my journey started back in 2005, 2006. I suddenly got an interest in the United States Marine Corps, which I then applied for and joined through Officer Candidate School. And I was on active duty from 2006 to 2014. During that time, deployed a couple times to Afghanistan, was stationed overseas, deployed to Japan during that time as well. And then 2014 came around, and I decided to take a different direction in my life. Um, and I went to graduate school, thankfully using the GI Bill. I met my wife, and I chose Boston kind of as my destination final city because that's where I went to undergrad as well. Since then, let's call it 2014, 2015, I realized that I missed the Marine Corps enough that I wanted to continue service in one way or another, and I joined the reserves. And I've been in the reserves ever since, doing the what they typically call, your weekend warrior, 1 week a month, 2 weeks a year time frame, which is about anywhere from 40 to 50 days on average spent in service. So that's where I currently at right now. And my current duty station, as they like to call it, is New Orleans, Louisiana, where I work for the 4th Marine Logistics Group.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for your service again, and I'm going to say this maybe 100 times, because there's a lot that comes from it, especially from your family. It's a huge sacrifice, and kudos to your wife and your beautiful family, which I have seen pictures. I have not met in person. I look forward to that day. But listen, man, tell me a little bit about how your military experience has reinforced or improved or even helped you in your insurance career.
So when I first got out of the military in 2014 and I was going through grad school for my MBA, part of the process of at least going for your MBA is figuring out what you want to do afterwards. And at the time, I really didn't have a plan or have a concept of what civilian employment would look like. So when I started to look for jobs, I really focused on companies that I would argue were better than average. They're good cultures. They met kind of my personal requirements. And it wasn't really until, let's call it 2 years after I joined Liberty Mutual through one of our development programs that I kind of started to connect the dots backwards of how my military experience really aligned pretty well with an insurance career, at least from a carrier perspective. So one aspect of that is, as like an insurance carrier, it's usually like a large corporation subject to a lot of regulation. Because it's a large organization, it's multifaceted, multifunctional. That sounds a lot like the military if you are familiar with that in the sense that, we have geographic separations, we have command separations. We have different units, different functions, and ultimately people have to come together to do projects. So once I kind of adjusted my perspective of how Liberty was as a civilian organization to mirror that really of like a military organization, it made it a lot easier to understand how an insurance carrier operates, how to work within an insurance carrier, how I kind of see our competition as well as our partners, right? Whether it's independent agents, um, or internal agencies or other kind of partnerships that exist in the insurance realm. So I think that's one aspect that really helped me from a military perspective. The second was just coming from the military, at least being an officer, a lot of my military upbringing relied on, they call it risk management, right? Operational risk management. And that I drew a corollary to the concept of underwriting, right? Underwriting, you're looking for risk, you're trying to figure out how to either engineer away the risk, administer the risk, or charge accordingly for it. On the military side, arguably there's less of the pricing component of risk, but there's still the identification, analysis, and controls you would implement to try to, as much as possible, reduce risk, right? Understanding, you know, war is an absolute exclusion on most
Excluded.
policies, right? So there's good reason for that. But I think those skills of recognizing the people, the systems, the equipment, whatever it is that go into whatever operation or initiative or project being done in the military, that really translates well to being an underwriter. And underwriting is a core concept behind insurance. So I think once I was able to wrap that all together, it really just made it easier to have conversations with professionals like yourself who are deeply versed in the technical aspects of policy terms, coverages, etc. And I think be able to relate to other people that I meet in the industry, whether that's through PIA, through carrier partners, or just independent agents out there just doing their business, running their business on a day-to-day basis. So I think those are the two aspects I think that the military has helped me out the most. I'm sure there's more, but I know we're limited on time.
Well, and it's impressive that how you can tie all that up, especially the risk management part, and how you bring it up from the military experience into the insurance world, which have made you very successful within your insurance company, Liberty, or even in your insurance career. So, thank you for the kind words of well versed for myself in terms of insurance coverage. I'm not sure about that, but you never know. But yeah, anyways, thank you so
I'm sure
much.
your I'm sure your E&O carrier would beg to differ.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much, Ben. You know that I have nothing but respect and appreciation for you. Thank you for your service. Are there any words you would like to share to all those insurance professionals out there who have served in the military or who are veterans and would love to come into the insurance industry? Please share some thoughts about that.
I would say to anyone, any veterans, first off, for the other veterans that may be listening to this, happy Veterans Day coming up. For Marines, obviously, particular, happy 249th birthday coming up. I hope you get a chance to celebrate that in Semper Fidelis. But for anyone considering coming into the industry or who's in the industry already, I think it's incumbent upon veterans or active duty folks or reservists um, to help fellow veterans out. And what I mean by that is if you know of someone who is interested in coming into industry or who's leaving active service or is making an industry change and they're not familiar with insurance as an industry, I think which a lot of people, fall backwards into as a concept, take that time to either connect them with someone. I mean, I offer myself, but I'm sure there's plenty of other people who are very familiar with the industry, can kind of give the ins and outs and draw those parallels of like military life to life in the insurance industry, whether it's an agency or a carrier, uh, or connect them with organizations that do offer those type of services, like Four Block, Hiring Our Heroes. There's a slew of them across countries, counties, cities, nationwide that help that transition process. And I think by doing that, we make the insurance industry as a whole that much more attractive because, at least for myself personally, the insurance industry may not have been something that I targeted, but once I got here, I understood how much more I could appreciate it for what it is, what it gave me, whether it's work-life balance, opportunity to succeed, opportunity to meet other people, a growing industry, an industry that needs talent, whether you're from the military or not. I mean, all these kind of converge as, and in my words, as a big opportunity for anyone who's interested. But for veterans, particularly, helping each other out, make that transition, and the word we like to use is sponsor or guide them into the industry. I think that'll reap benefits, the 20, 30 years from now, as we obviously still struggle to find the talent we need to sustain and perpetuate the industry as a concept. So.
Very well said, my friend. I appreciate that. It's you can tell the passion and the love for the industry and for the military just by talking with you. And you and I have had many conversations throughout the year. So
Oh
thank you
yeah,
so
we have.
much. Thank you so much for doing this to you and your beautiful family. Happy Veterans Day. Um, we will definitely stay in touch and thank you. I appreciate you, brother.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to meeting you at the next PIA event, if not
Yes.
sooner.
All right, brother. Thank you.